just stop, Grandfather.
Are you sure? Will it be all right? Quilp won't find us?
Of course he won't. Come, under the tree in the shade. We'll have something to eat and drink.
Yes.
The decision is Nell's. They've run away from London, and the fear that her grandfather will return to gambling, and that Quilp will use his obsession to trap Nell in some awful web.
We're free of it now, Nell. They'll never get us back, eh? No, we won't go. But money, what shall we do for money?
We have enough.
But I could double it, Nell. Just one game.
No more games, Grandfather.
No. But we must go on.
It's hot. We've come a long way this morning. We'll just rest a little while until the sun goes.
No, I won't wait. We must be gone.
Let me wash my face, Grandfather. Oh, the water's cool.
I love you, my little Nellie. And now you must love me and look after me, because if you don't...
I will. Don't worry, I will. Now, up you get. That's it. Take your stick. Now, off we go. West from wind, when will the blow?
They walk on for hours, until their feet are sore, and the glare of the sun fills their eyes, and they can see nothing but dust and shimmering heat.
Hard walking, master.
It is indeed.
You're going my way.
If you could give us a lift, then we would be, sir.
That's a smart young and a no mistake. Give us your hand. Jump up. There we go, sir.
It is a great relief for the travellers to be on the card, and hardly has Nell settled in the straw, and she falls fast asleep. She is awakened by the stopping of the cart.
I turns off here. Village is about a mile ahead. Your best way's through the churchyard there.
At this hour, as the sun begins to set, the old churchyard is a haven of peace and quiet, and the two travellers stop a moment to enjoy the tranquility.
Stay away!
Oh, no, you won't.
Nell, who is it?
Oh, yes, I will. Oh, no, you won't. No.
I think it's Mr. Punch, Grandfather.
And as Nell hurries round the church, she sees two men, a travelling Punch and Judy show spread out around their feet.
It is. Look, there's Mr. Punch, and there's...
One of the men, who has a twinkling eye and a red nose, jumps up and bows.
Welcome, travellers. Sit you down.
As long as you're quite sure you're not after the sausages.
Well, why? How do you come to be here?
We're putting up with the pub in the village down there, and it wouldn't do to let him see the present company undergoing repair. Right, Mr. Punch?
But why?
It would destroy all the delusion and take away the interest. I mean, would you care a penny for the Lord Chancellor if you was to see him without his wig and robes?
Are you going to show them tonight?
I reckon too, and I reckon he reckons too.
He being the other gent, a dour, grey, gloomy sort.
Don't you, Tommy? He don't say a lot, don't Tommy Codlin, but he takes the money, pays the bills. Don't you, Tommy?
And the dour Mr. Codlin nods, without a word.
Thing is, he don't trust human nature, don't Tommy Codlin.
Water butter.
Just the coin in the hand.
And the sausages.
Oh, there's nothing.
Excuse me, sir. Isn't Mr. Punch a bit raggedy?
Raggedy Punch. What a disgrace.
And Judy ain't much better, poor lady. Ain't got a needle by any chance.
I have. And I think I could sew neater than you.
Hear that, Codlin? And there was you saying, get rid of him. My dear, sow away, and I, for one, will be your debtor. As for you, Tommy Codlin, I'll thank you to test the orchestra.
Oh,
And taking out a needle and thread, Nell proceeds to mend not only Punch and Judy, but the dog's collar, the runner's helmet, the Moor's cloak, and half a dozen other little costumes, while Mr. Codlin tests the orchestra.
Where might you be travelling, little Judy?
No further tonight, I don't think.
they're funny now. Look at Mr. Punch and the bad dog. Woof, 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 woof.
In which case, you could do worse than stop at the same house as us. And I saw Codlin. Exactly. Very cheap. Right, Codlin?
It looks to me as if Grandfather would quite cheerfully stay in the churchyard all night. But the showmen pack up, and with the pair in tow, set off for the inn.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sheep, goats, cats and dogs, settle yourself down. We present to you the original drama of Mr. Punch. Mr. Punch, are you ready? Well, you come on up and say hello to the ladies and gents.
All right.
Very good, Mr. Punch. No, wake up. Look at Mr. Punch. Wake up. Nell?
And at last, a bed and sleep. But before she can sleep, Nell counts their money. Amongst the copper coins, there is one of gold, and this she sews into her clothes, vowing never to take it out unless their situation is desperate. And this done, she prays and closes her eyes and sleeps. And next morning,
Stow it, you, or it's back in the box. You could do worse, missy, than come with us.
Yes, we'll go along with Mr. Punch. With them. They make me laugh, Nell.
I suppose we might. There will be people there.
Crowds of crowds. But don't you fret. We'll keep a wary eye out for you.
and as they settle up and set off, Nell reflects that if they do have to beg their way, and they do, then a race meeting is as good a place as any to start. The little group make a long day's journey and are still upon the road when the moon is shining in the sky. And at last, Mr. Harris calls a halt under a signpost where 4 tracks meet.
Lower it down, Codlin. Oh, that's the way. Sit you down, missy.
Who on earth is coming now?
Oh, that'll be Grinder's lot.
And round a bend in the road come 2 giants. At least it seems so. But out of the moon shadow emerge a couple of small children on long stilts, striding away, blowing and rattling. And behind, hammering at a big bass drum,
Grinder, what's away? Why, we are. And like you, I dare say, Harris, bound for the races. Evening, Codlin.
hands are shaken all round. The young people, being too high up, toot and rattle their instruments in greeting.
Are they practicing, sir?
Lord bless me now, young lady. It comes to either walking in the stilts or carrying them, and they prefers walking. Very present for their prospects. And which road are you taking? We go the nighest.
Well, we was going the longest way, thinking that 3 or 4 miles gained tonight is...
3 or 4 said tomorrow. 4 miles, more sausages.
No doubt we will meet again at the races. Good night to you all. Onwards, mon brawl.
And that is Grinder's lot.
Are there many such lots at at the races.
Oh, why, bless you, beauty, there's a perfect gatheration of them. And you shall meet a few tonight when we reaches the Jolly Sandboys. Now, shoulder arms all, and let us be off.
My stick is my stick.
Supper at the Sandboys is a jolly affair. There are performing dogs and a somewhat doleful giant.
And how is your highness these days?
Bad at the knees, Harris. And when a giant goes bad at the knees, why, there goes the giant business. It's retirement.
And what does old giants do?
Why, they waits on dwarfs. I mean, it wouldn't do if they went on the parish. Become a common sight then, we would.
And what does old dwarves do?
Oh, they does very well, thank you. The older the dwarf, the better.
After bidding her grandfather good night,
Sleep well.
Nell goes to her garret. But hardly has she settled when...
What is it? Wait. What's the matter?
Why, nothing's the matter, my dear. I'm your friend. That's what you has to remember. Just stay near me, my dear, and always say, Harris was your friend. Remember now, Harris was the name. Now, we'll be away in the morning sharp, so you get your sleep. And remember, Harris was your friend.
Harris. Is he her friend? Maybe, but his help might lead to greater peril for her grandfather. But Nell is tired, too tired to think of anything but sleep.
Grandfather. Grandfather.
Oh, what is it now? Is it day? Already? I dreamed of Mr. Punch. We had such fun and games.
Grandfather, I think these men suspect we have left our friends, and they mean to call the law or some gentleman and take us back.
Why? What? No, we can't go back. Never go
For
back.
some reward. They mean well, but
Lock me up in a stone cellar and never let me see you again.
That's why we must leave. Now. Right away.
Yes. Hurry.
Quietly, Grandfather.
Yes. Shush. Shush.
And as the sun comes up on another perfect day, Nell and the old man hurry away towards the open fields, leaving behind...
Oh, no. They've scarpered.
Western wind, when wilt thou blow? The small rain down come rain.
Well, if you ask me, jobs in London is like pearls and oysters. And finding pearls and oysters would be easier than knowing where Miss Nell and the old fellow have gone.
Kit Nubbins, trudging home after another day looking for work. And he just happens to pass by the old curiosity shop. And if the door just happens to be unlocked and the place empty, who could resist it? Not me, I'm sure. And not Master Kit.
Well, where would he put you then? So long as he didn't do what he said.
What use is Nell's pretty songbird to a fella like me? Oh, its neck might as well be wrung and there's an end to it.
No!
As soon as you hear anything to the old man or girl, you come straight to Quilp, and the bird'll keep singing.
Come on then, matey. Sing out if you're here. Sing out for Nell. There you are. I got it, Ma. Safe and sound.
Well, I don't know, Kit. I mean, how did you get in?
The door was open. I'll bet that Mr. Quilp forgot all about it. Only...
Give it here. We'll put the cage out the back where it'll catch the sun a bit.
Do you reckon he was right?
Who?
Him. The Quilp fella. I mean, that they might come back to us. Maybe even tomorrow. Well, it's been a week now, and, well, they wouldn't stay away longer than that. Not away from their friends.
You've been saying the same thing every day, boy. Maybe tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow for sure.
You're right, as you generally is, Ma. Only a week it's...
7 days.
There, you've hit it square. Quite long enough for them two to be rambling about.
Dear, have your supper now.
Blimey, there's enough to feed 4.
Hardly enough to feed one, and you knows it. You need to keep your strength up, boy. Eat.
That's the truth. I ain't got no work, so I best be to bed and up early and see what tomorrow holds, which I hope is better than today.
And so it is that Kit finds himself the next morning, hurrying along the busy pavements, hoping that he will not be too late to hold that pony. He arrives outside the notary's office, and for a moment is sure he's missed it.
Will you have the goodness to stop here? Whisker! Stop! Stop, I say, stop!
Whoa there! Hello, Whisker, guess who?
Oh, why, bless me, the lad. And just as well, the way Whisker has been this morning.
I said I'd be here, sir. And I hope you had a pleasant drive, sir, this morning.
Well, an uncommon lad, this. A good lad, to be sure. No, not the best of rides.
Oh, he's a nice little pony for all that.
That may be. To some, but not to me, eh, sir?
I got him fast, sir.
Then if that is so, I can go about my business inside. I shall return.
I dare say he will, right, Whisker? Of course, it'll take a while, business generally does. So if I was to slip you the odd sugar lump...
So Kit does, as he waits, until Mr. Garland emerges, his business done.
So, my boy, you're here to work out the sixpence owed and not to get another?
Never thought of such a thing.
Really? Indeed, so you say.
Never.
Father alive?
Dead, sir.
Mother?
Alive, sir.
Oh. You're not married again?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm. Very well. Now, look, I'm not going to give you anything.
I never expected it, like what I said.
But I would like your address. It may be that I want to know more about you.
No, but I ain't got no reason to hide it, nor to be ashamed of it.
Kit gives it. Mr. Garland takes it, and then takes himself and pony off. And Kit trudges on, looking for work.
I'm back, Mark. Nothing much to... Blimey!
I am here before you, as you see, Christopher.
I does. I mean, I do, don't I? Ma...
The gentleman has been asking if you is in a good place, or indeed any place at present. And when I told you wasn't, why?
We are looking for a good lad in our house, if we can find that everything is as we would wish it to be.
Right, sir.
He is a good lad.
I'm sure he is, Mrs. Nubbins. But as I said, we are a small family, not much given to rowdy excursions.
Oh, quite right too, sir. Neither is my Kit.
It would be a great pity if we were to find, well, not to put too fine a point upon it, that we had made a mistake.
Oh, a mistake with my Kit? Why, Lord above, sir. And not only that, my dear departed, since he's above and all, can look down and never see a finer lad than Kit.
Ma!
When he had the measles, not above his tender years, why, he lay there a-saying to me, never fret, mother.
Ma!
All right, never fret, Ma. I shall soon be better. And then there was the time. We must have been 6. No, I tell a lie. 4. 5. 4.5, when he fell out the window. Oh. Yes, that very window there behind you. 1 minute he was sitting and chortling, as happy as a sandboy, and the next he was gone. Just like that. I mean, my heart jumped, it did. And as he goes, I went rushing over thinking, oh, you careless woman, you. First you loses your husband, and then...
Mrs. Nubbins?
Yes, sir?
I was thinking of £6 per annum. Kit, how does that sound?
Sounds about perfect, sir.
We shall find for your clothes and your living, of course.
What can I say?
That you will take the job and start next Monday?
Oh, I would be... I should like to... Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And good day.
Oh, I think I'll put the kettle on.
I think you better add, Ma. Since I reckon my fortune's about made now.
I should think it is, Kit. £6 a year. Oh, only think.
Try as he might to preserve the dignity appropriate to a £6 a year man, Kit can't stop a beaming smile from breaking out on his face. A face never averse to a grin, even at the worst of times. But this...
What is a property? We should make such a lady of you for Sundays, Ma, and a scholar of young Jacob, and such a child of the baby, and such a room of this room. £6 a year!
£6 a year. Somebody will have £6 a year. Who gives it, eh? Does the old man give it, or pretty Nelly, did she say? And to whom did she say it, and why, and for what, eh? And where are they, eh?
Mrs. Nubbins snatches up the baby. Kit stands his ground, though regarding Quilp with considerable respect.
Don't be frightened, mistress. Your son knows me. He knows I don't eat babies. However, I don't like 'em. Never have, never will. So milky and... It might be a good idea to settle the young screamer there, just in case I were to be tempted, eh? To do him a mischief, eh? Will you be silent? And mind you don't break out again, or... But what's this? Something familiar. What could it be? Wildlife could it be in this shady yard? Let's see. Shall we? Well. Can it be stolen property?
Leave it alone.
How did it get here?
Don't ask me. The devil brung it.
I don't know about that, but I can say the devil will assuredly take it away. Why haven't you been to see me, Kit?
Because I had no business with you. No more than you with me.
Mistress, you speak. When did his old master call last? Is he here now? If not, where has he gone?
He's not been here at all. I wish I knew. I wish we knew where they'd gone, for it'd make the both of us a good deal easier in our minds. I would have thought you'd knowed, Mr. Quilp, since they do say you know most things around here.
Did they say that? And this is what you would tell any other gent who might come by, another friend, say, who might inquire of them.
It is. For it is all I know.
It's the truth. She wouldn't tell a lie, not my ma.
Oh, Kit, my young friend, I'm sorry that there is no news.
No news is good news, so they say.
So they say. Oh dear. The little bird. It seems its little heart must have burst. No point in taking it now. Perhaps you would bury it for me, Kit. I'm sure Miss Nell would like that. Oh, good day to you.
As Kit says, it may not have been his fault at all, but he does not relish the thought of one day telling Nell. Still, these are busy times. There are clothes to be bought, boxes to be packed, and come Sunday night, when Kit is to travel to Hornsey, goodbyes, he says.
I've got enough here to last me all the way to Africa, not just across London.
You don't think I'm going to send you short of anything, do you? How would that look?
Oh, you don't have to worry. I reckon I got everything here.
Haven't got a label. There. Not to say the carrier would lose it, but better safe than sorry.
Maybe someone should go with it. No, it'll get there safe enough.
Yeah. I know. I expect it will. Just like...
Now, Ma, you know you must keep your spirits up and not be lonesome because I'm not home.
Me? Why? I shan't. Not for a moment. Why, not even for the smallest...
Oh, come on. Look, I'll be looking in when I'm in town and... Or that'll be ever so often, and I'll write letters and... Well, when payday comes along, look, I get a holiday and I'll tell you what, we'll take little Jacob to the play and let him know what oysters means.
I suppose.
bows on your bonnets and a smile on your face. And now... Oh, come on, old thing. No, it'll be fine. You'll see. You'll see. Oh.
Yeah.
What? Not gone away, I hope.
Ah, and here he is, that trustworthy boy.
I hope so, sir.
We know so. And you know why? Whisker is seldom wrong about a person. Come in. Come in.
Did my box arrive, sir? My ma was worried about the carrier.
Safe and sound in your quarters, Christopher. And now, let's have a look at your new clothes. Ah, very smart. My dear, the young man is here. Indeed. Here he is.
Kit is once again introduced to Mrs. Garland and to young Mr. Abel Garland. He is then taken down to the kitchen, where a meal is laid out for the traveller. Laid out by the maid. A kitchen as neat and tidy and bright and glowing, and as precisely ordered as the maid, but not nearly as pretty as the maid, whose name is Barbara, who sits sewing whilst Kit eats. His struggles with knife and fork not made any the easier because there is a remarkably fetching girl looking on.
The name... My name's Kit. They tell me you're called Barbara. Barbara. I'm glad to make your acquaintance.
And as Kit wonders what colour her eyes might be, Barbara looks up, and they look at each other, and they blush furiously, and look down again, for now. As for the future, I shouldn't be surprised if... Well, perhaps we should wait and see. A scene of domestic tranquillity. The Quilps at home.
What is that stuff, eh? That noise?
It is a song, Quilp.
Enough of your songs. What have you got to sing about, eh? Come here, my dear Betsy.
It was only a song, my dear.
It's only my hand. A strong hand, I grant. Do you like holding hands, my infinitely precious Mrs. Quilp?
Quilp, you are hurting.
I just want to be sure, my dear. You remember little Nellie?
Oh, yes, of course, I love it.
Never mind her looks, woman.
What is it? Quilp, please stop squeezing my... Ow!
When she came to deliver her grandfather's letters, eh?
What, Quilp?
You gave her cake and wine. You think I don't know of it?
But she was hungry.
I wonder if perhaps the poor lonely child might have written to so kind a soul as you, eh?
No, I swear it. No.
Such clever hands, the tunes they play, the music they bring forth. You would tell me if she wrote the child, wouldn't you?
Yes. My dear, yes. But why do you look for them? They have no money now.
What's it to you? Why? Why? Because she offends me with her goodness, her humility, her cleanness in this infected, filthy world. Because she is a reproach. I'm going now.
To everything you are, Quilp.
After leaving Mrs. Quilp, Mr. Quilp makes his way across the city to the very square where Kit Nubbins used to live before removing to Hornsey.
No more to be said, Mrs. Nubbins. I shall leave you hail and rain and snow, as they say. And farewell. I say, mind that chicken, youngster. You might want to... Oh. You here?
I might say the same, Mr. Dick Swiveller. You here? Why?
For news of the travellers.
And?
No news.
You are disappointed.
Suffice it to say, I am disappointed.
As I am myself, Mr. Swiveller, disappointed. We are both
disappointed
in the lack of news. So, as we are companions in adversity, let us be companions in the way of forgetting it. You have no other business in this area?
No business, only disappointment and hopes.
There is a house down by the river where they have a few jugs of the noblest gin. There's a little summer house overlooking the water. We might find it possible to pass away a few hours snug and happy. Unless there is another prior...
For Richard Swiveller, as far as a glass or 10 of gin are concerned, there is no other or prior.
By all means, let us go.
The summer house is pretty much in the way of Quilp's domestic tranquility. A bad joke. But then Mr. Quilp is in that sort of humour today, and every day, when you come down to it.
There now, a toast.
Youth and beauty.
Oh, yeah, I'll drink to that. How is it? Strong and fiery. Does it make you wink and choke? Makes your eyes water and your breath come short.
You drink this stuff?
Tasty, ain't it?
Mr. Quilp pours. And pours again. And again.
Oh, half and half with water for me.
Oh, you young fellas. No stamina. Now, the misery shared is generally entertaining. Out with it. Oh, and down with it.
I was engaged to be married. Decent girl. Quiet. Not rich, but decent. Are you adding water to this?
It goes down easier after the first few, don't it? Go on.
That's it. We were to marry.
Until
Nell's brother Frank came up with this plan.
Frank, indeed. And since he was on such bad terms with his grandfather, might I venture to suggest, Morgin?
Why not?
That the plan concerned his sister Nell.
My God, you're not slow. That's spot on. He says to me, Dick, he says, that little girl's going to be rich one day. Now here's me, that's Frank, thrown out of the family by the old so-and-so, and here's her, pining away for want of... Oh. I tell him straight up, she's still a child.
Such a tasty little morsel, are you?
Well, that's all very well for some, but not for Richard Swiveller, Esquire.
Yeah.
So Frank says, wait a few years till she's 18, then marry her. If she'll have me, I says. He says, course she will, she won't know no better. And you'll be rich, which I must say is a temptation. So that very night I break my engagement in a fit of greedy madness. You know, Mr. Quilp, you're not such a bad fellow after all. I could have done with a friend like you and, well, I entered into this whole plan.
That Frank. Clever man, but perhaps this time a little too clever for himself. Now, fill up with tobacco.
Quilp cares not a jot for Frank or Dick Swiveller. I suspect his only thought is, how may I entangle these young fools and use them for my own purposes?
Your tobacco's as strong as your gin, Mr. Quilp.
And as strong as my friendship, Mr. Swiveller. And for my friends, I will work as hard as may be necessary to bring a thing about.
What thing would that be?
Marriage and fortune.
You think there's a chance?
You know he is rich, the grandfather. Oh, yes. Get in there and you're a made man.
You honestly think...
I honestly think that here's good sport. Oh, and it shall be done, but come. Time passes and I must go. I've a family of 10 to evict. No, just my little joke. Come, sir, come!
Left an infant by my parents at an early age, cast upon the world in my tenderest period, thrown upon the mercies of a deluded... Oh, are you still here, short person? I'm a miserable orphan. I say a miserable orphan!
You'll be a bloody dead orphan if you don't get off the road!
You have deceived an orphan, sir!
I thought I just pulled you from under a coat, sir.
Now you mention it, sir. So you did.
But no matter. Come along, my friend. Let me give you a hand. Now, we both know that Frank thinks he's the brains and you're the dupe in this.
You think so?
Do you?
It had occurred to me once or twice.
Oi! There, my friend. Whoopsie-daisy. Now, bring Frank and yourself to my house on Tower Hill tonight, say, at 7. Don't worry. We'll make your fortune yet. That's good, Mrs. Quilp. Play up, and especially tonight, play up to young Swiveller. I'll give you permission.
But why, Quilp?
Why? Because I wish it. Because he has just enough sense and just enough cunning to be useful to me. The other one, Nelly's brother, he's no more than a greedy fool. I'll play with him. You play with Swiveller. Captivate him. You'll have no trouble. He has a certain charm. Ooh, our guests have arrived. Play. Oh, come in, my young friends. Frank, come along through, please. Dick, come through. We have some rum, very good rum, and you must meet Mrs. Quilp. My dear, here is Mr. Swiveller.
Pleased to meet you, Ma. Mrs. Quilp, your son.
Oh, come through. Come on, sit down, young men. My dear, why don't you pour for our young friends? Frank? Bravo.
You have a fine sense of humour. Don't you recall it was the sugar clipper on which I was sent out of the old man's life?
I do. Oh, how things come round. And I must say, it has always seemed to me unfair when a rich relation chooses to exclude one or other of his grandchildren, to cast one off, as it were.
You admit, then, he is rich?
Have I ever denied it? Oh, I admit that your grandfather accused you of ingratitude, extravagance, riot, gambling. Yes, as I used to tell him, the follies of youth. I said, it is the making of many a young fellow, a little wildness. I was wild once myself. Is that not so, my dear?
Yes, Quilp.
Yes, well, yes, well, yes, well. I used to tell him, have an open heart. Young Frank will mend his ways.
And for some reason he wouldn't believe you.
Oh, he was always obstinate. He was, in a way, a friend, but often wrong-headed. Nell is a nice girl, a charming girl, but you are the elder Frank. He can't alter that.
But he can run off.
Drink up, Frank. Dick, goodness me, you are a man for the drink.
Never refuse what is given in friendship. My father used to say that.
Before or after he left you an orphan. So, Frank, let you and I make up any past quarrels or misunderstandings. Let us shake hands upon it.
Very well.
Splendid. Now, my dear, why don't you take Mr. Swiveller off to the piano and play him some of your stuff? I'm sure he'd like that. Wouldn't you, Dick? Another rum?
Don't mind if I do.
Perhaps you sing, sir.
Really, Quilp, I'm tired. I should like to retire now.
Perhaps you will sing a duet with my wife. Yes, off you go and sing a song. She will like that, and so shall I. Won't I, my dear?
What were you playing when we came in, Mrs. Quilp?
I locked up all my treasure.
Oh, I know that one.
So, Frank, what say you? The drunken Dickie shall marry little Rosie Nelly by and by.
You have some end of your own to answer, of course.
Yeah, called it whim. call it something else. It need not concern you.
The old man, he is rich.
Hold us all, Frank. They'll be living high this moment, I've no doubt about it. But once find them and take her away, once get rosy, chubby Miss Nell to ourselves, and why, even Dick will be a knight in shining armour. He will marry her.
And will need advisors to handle his newfound wealth.
Oh, he'll need that, all right. And now it's late. Take your friend to his bed and I'll attend to Mrs. Quilp. My dear!
Is it time to go already?
How we go, lovely.
So an agreeable evening of music and careless chat ends. And as Dick Swiveller and his best friend set off home, Daniel Quilp watches from an upstairs window with a wider grin than any I have yet observed upon his face. Then he turns to his wife.
I'm tired, Nell. My legs ache.
Just a little further, Grandfather. There's a village. Oh, you can see the church spire above the trees.
I wasn't ready to leave. I liked the Punch and Judy show.
Do you want a drink? There's still some water in the bottle.
As the old man drinks, I cannot help wondering, where will they go? How will Nell cope with him, with the fears and anxieties of a journey that seems to have no end?
What are we waiting for, Nell? Do not hurry.
Grandfather, no one has come after us. Mr. Harris and Mr. Codlin have gone on to the races. Look behind us.
No
one.
But ahead, they could be waiting.
Nothing is waiting for us, Grandfather, except tomorrow. Oh, and boys playing cricket.
The village is small, nestling under the summer trees. And indeed, there are boys playing cricket on the green.
We must see if there is anywhere we can lodge, Grandfather. Though with the money we've got left, it won't be much.
There. We could rest there.
It's the schoolhouse, Grandfather, not an inn.
No nonsense. Ask him.
A spare, simple-looking man, smoking his pipe with an air of...
Speak to him, Nell. He may know somewhere.
I can't. Not now. There's something... He's so thoughtful.
Go on. Speak, Nell.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay. Ah, travellers.
If you could direct us, sir, we should take it very kindly.
You've been walking a long way.
A long way.
Young to be on the road. Friend? She's your granddaughter?
That's so. And my comfort.
And where are you going?
We don't know, sir. But I can tell you where we've come from.
A horrible place. A place of vileness and loss.
Grandfather, it's all right. We'll go on now.
You are his comfort, my dear, aren't you?
I try to be so.
Well, it doesn't look to be much harm in the pair of you.
Harm? There's harm in gold, sir. Harm in the way the cards fall on the table. But I have
I'm sorry.
a system.
He's upset. We must be on our way.
You're welcome to stay with me, if you wish. I would like some company, and I'll make some supper for you. If you'll just wait a moment. Come in. As you see, my schoolroom is parlour and kitchen too, but it does well enough for me.
Oh, and well enough for us, sir.
A long time since Nell sat in a schoolroom. So much she could have learnt, and how different, perhaps, her life would have been. But no, things are as they are written.
This is lovely writing, sir, on the board.
It is indeed.
Is it yours?
Mine? No. They're all done by a little hand. Younger than yours, but very clever one.
A boy or a girl?
A little lad, my dear, just a village lad, but... Oh, clever. A thinker from infancy. It's as if... Sometimes, when God gives special gifts...
I hope there is nothing the matter, sir.
Oh, no. It's just, I hope to have seen him on the green tonight, but he's ill. So nothing to be worried about. It's a little fever. Not a bad sign, they say. Not at all a bad sign. Well, they've all gone home now. No more cricket to play. But he will be better tomorrow. And you must eat. Come.
The schoolmaster does not eat, just as, after all, he smokes an empty pipe. His thoughts are elsewhere.
Then shall we leave you, sir?
Yes, sleep. And sleep well. For I doubt that I will this night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. It is a little hand to have done all that. A very little hand.
Good day, sir. I took the liberty of laying out breakfast since you weren't here.
That is well done, my dear. I've been to see if...
Is he any better?
They hope for an improvement, but they fear it may not be so.
I'm very sorry for that.
Well, so many things can happen in this world, so many chances. We must hope. And I have another hope, too, if I may put it to you.
Oh, of course.
If your journey is a long one and doesn't press you for one day, why then stay another night? I'd be glad if you would.
He addresses this request to the old man, who looks around, confused, concerned.
What are we to do, Nell?
Let us stay, Grandfather. The rest will be good for you.
Come, we'll sit in the garden.
And so they sit, the schoolmaster, the old man, and the child, through the drowsy morning and the quiet afternoon, and after tea into the cool evening, until an old woman comes hurrying up the path to summon the teacher. Hurry, hurry. There's not much time.
I must go to him. Will you wait for me here?
I'll come with you if I may.
Yes, of course.
The door is opened by the boy's mother, who stares accusingly at the teacher, as if it is all his fault. For see what this learning has done. And yet, in the child's room...
He's so pale.
Can you hear me? I'll open the window.
Shall I?
Yes, my dear, will you? Listen. All your friends still playing. It was almost dark. Can you hear them? Such games. Such fun. And you must get well so you can play with them. Soon. He's gone.
So easy.
What did you say, my dear?
Did you see? It was so easy. Just like slipping away to sleep. Only there would be no dreams. Ever. And there would be no memories. No more.
It is a sad night that is past, and a sad new morning. But the travellers must press on.
If you're sure you must go.
I think we must. Grandfather gets upset if we stay too long in one place.
Come along.
The sad place, too.
But a good place.
Nelly?
I will remember it. And I'll remember you.
Nelly, I've had a few students that have said the same, but all things change. You saw that yesterday.
But may not things change for the better?
I hope they do, my dear. I hope they do for you. And, well, should you ever find yourself in the area again, come and see me.
Nell, come along. We must hurry. No time to waste talking here.
Let me pay you something for our lodging.
You've paid me more than enough with your company. Go, and God bless you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So they wave goodbye, and once more start out on the road.
Where shall we go now?
Go, Grandfather. Why, along the road. Where else?
So, on they go, forward, until at last they come across a caravan by the roadside. No dingy, shabby cart, this, but a smart little house on wheels, with a brass knocker at the red-painted door, and a stout lady in a large bowed bonnet, sitting at a dainty tea table.
The cup that refreshes but don't inebriate. Here, you! Yes, you, child. Who won the Helter Skelter Cup?
Won what, Mum?
The Helter Skelter Cup at the races. It was run for on the second day.
Don't know, Mum.
Don't know? But you was going to the races. I saw you on the way with my very own eyes.
On the way?
Yes, at the Jolly Sandboy, in company with a punch. A low, practical, vulgar wretch that people should scorn to look at.
Mr. Punch, funny, Mr. Punch.
On the contrary, not funny, Mr. Punch.
We weren't there by choice exactly. We were lost, and Mr. Harris and Mr. Codlin let us go along with them. Do you know them?
Do I know them? Know them? But you were young and inexperienced, and he, I take it, is old and not quite right in the head.
He's my grandfather.
Which don't preclude bats in the belfry. Now, child, do I look as if I knowed 'em? Does this caravan look as if it knowed 'em?
No, Mum. No. I beg your pardon.
Granted.
You see, we didn't go to the races. We left before we got there. I mean...
I know what you mean.
But we must go on. Is it a long way to the next town?
At the end of a long day and on foot, yes, a long way.
Then we must start. Come on, Grandfather.
Wait, child. Come. Closer. That's better.
Mum?
Hungry?
Oh, not very. And it is a long way, so we should...
Should attend to me. Thirsty? Care for a cup of tea? Hey, old gentleman, you'd be agreeable to that, would you?
Tea? Thank you, Mum. I would like some tea.
Good. Well, so, here's a cloth. Spread it by the rear wheels and take this hamper. Some prime ham. Ham in the hamper. Mustard, yes, the bread. And I'll boil up a spot more water and you shall eat and drink as much as you want. No arguments, if you please. Now, sit down.
This is not a lady you'd even consider disobeying in your wildest dreams. And Nell and her grandfather can feel no delicacy in the matter. Before long, they are eating a real feast.
George, I don't mean to hurry you, but have you slept enough, eh, George? I say, George!
At which, a large, rather unkempt man splutters and emerges from beneath the caravan. He grins hugely and nods in a good-natured way.
Now, George, I've a mind to take on board an extra load, and don't you come at the high horse with me over this. Nor go snorting off like a cart horse neither, George. It don't bring out the best in you, being as you and the equine bear more than a passing resemblance as it is. Two little uns together, they'd hardly amount to one middle-sized un. So what do you say, George? And none of your cheese paring arguments.
Oh, but Mum, we can't possibly...
Refuse my offer? Of course you can't. Come on. But nothing. Help the old gentleman up. And climb aboard yourself, young woman.
But I don't even know who to thank.
I am the celebrated Mrs. Jarley, and I will thank you to sit down. And, George!
Get up!
Enjoy the ride! Oh, child, how do you like this way of travelling?
It is, I think...
Nell steals a look around the caravan. One half is carpeted, chaired, curtained, cupboarded and bedded. The other serves as a kitchen, with a stove with a small chimney which passes through the roof.
Very very pleasant, Mrs. Jarley, Mum.
True, for those that have their spirits.
Have there?
I, unfortunately, do not. I am troubled, as you can see, with lowness of spirits, which require constant stimulation. It is a trial, but one I hope I will have the strength to bear. For me, it is the happiness of the young that stimulates. For you do not know what it is to be low in your feelings. You always have your appetites. And what a comfort that is. Oh, here, child. Regard this poster.
Jarley's Waxwork.
Read it again.
Jarley's Waxwork.
That's me. I am Mrs. Jarley. Now, see here. Look. 100 figures, the full size of life. The only stupendous collection of real waxwork in the world. The genuine and only Jarley. Jarley's unrivalled collection. Jarley is the delight of nobility and gentry. Not to mention the praise of the public.
I was amazed. J. Palmerston, London. Uncommon good value. R. Peel, Westminster. The highest educational resource. W. M. Thackeray.
Oh, if I knowed a donkey, what wouldn't go to see Mrs. Jarley's waxwork show? D'you think I'd acknowledge him? Oh, no. Then run to Jarley's. That last bit don't rhyme on purpose. Crafty advertising, you see. The modern age.
Is it here, Mum? The waxwork?
Bless you, what you thinking of? How could such a magnificent and wide-ranging collection be here? It's gone on the vans to the assembly rooms, and there it'll be exhibited the day after tomorrow. You shall see it, no doubt, being a sensible sort of woman who wants to improve herself. I don't suppose you could stop away, even if you was to try ever so much.
I don't think we'll be in the town.
Not there? Then where will you be?
I don't know yet.
Do you mean to say that you and the elderly gent are travelling round without knowing where you are going? What curious people. Exactly what line are you in?
No line at all, Mum. We're just poor people and don't have anything to do. I wish we had.
You amaze me more and more. What do you call yourselves? Not beggars.
I don't know what else we'll be once our money runs out.
I never heard of such a thing. And yet you can read.
Yes.
And write, I dare say.
Yes, Mum.
Oh, that's the thing, because I can't.
Oh. I mean, indeed. I mean, oh.
Will you be so kind as to wake up the old gent?
Grandfather, wake up.
Do you want a good situation for your granddaughter? If you do, I can put her in the way of getting one.
She can't leave me. No, impossible. I need her. What would become of me without her?
I should have thought you was old enough to take care of yourself.
Oh, he's been ill. He never will be able to, and we can't be separated.
More fool you, girl. Then, let your grandfather dust and sweep the exhibition hall. Let him collect the money.
Well.
But what shall I do?
You will point out to the paying public the various waxworks that I shall be showing. Now, consider, it is a most genteel and light duty, but no common office. This is Jarley's, remember, and you will be representing a famous, not to say celebrated name.
I don't know that in public...
I do know, child. I can see you have a way about you. A look that will bring in the paying public and make 'em attend. Oh, yes, my dear. If you was only allowed to put your heart and soul to it, why, I dare say there ain't nothing you couldn't illuminate. Now, will you or will you not become the public face of Jarley's celebrated waxwork? Lodgings and salary.
I would love to, Mum.
I knowed it all along. George, are we to get there tonight or sometime next year?
This Mrs. Jarley is obviously not a woman, lady, to let the grass grow under her feet. No sooner have they arrived in town than...
Now, child, you will stay here.
Well,
The both of you.
We are very much obliged to you, Mum.
And you'll never be sorry for it. I'm pretty sure of that. So, that's settled.
Thus it is that after supper, and after settling her grandfather down, Nell takes a walk. As she walks, the wind comes up and clouds gather. She is drawn towards the shelter of the old town gate, and here she sits in an empty niche from which a statue has fallen, and shuts her eyes and sees...
My pretty Nelly, here's Daniel Quilp come to sit with you.
Oh, Lord, save us.
But then, weren't we made for one another?
Go away, please.
But now, I have need of you. Don't you know that? Quilp has need of you.
Never.
Let's wake Nell and run, and hope the rain might wash the dreams away.
You are late.
I'm sorry, Mum. I don't know what happened.
You slept well. A blessing denied such as I. Bad night after bad night. I sometimes wonder how I'll bear it. And you there! Do not handle the exhibits roughly. Place it with care. Oh, workmen do not understand the artiste.
Around Nell and Mrs. Jarley, the exhibition is taking shape.
Festoons! The festoons! They must be hung with panache! Am I right, child?
Oh, yes, Mum. With panache.
And if all the waxy gents displayed are very pigeon-chested and blue about the face, and all the ladies have miraculous figures, and all are looking furiously into space, at nothing...
Wonderful, isn't it?
Wonderful. Quite wonderful.
Who's to say they aren't every bit as real as the characters in our finest stories?
Now, listen carefully, Nell. That is an unfortunate maid of Queen Elizabeth who died from pricking her finger as a consequence of working on a Sunday. Observe the blood trickling from her finger and the golden needle.
Golden needle, Mum.
This, ladies and gentlemen... Oh, you will not forget the ladies and gentlemen. It makes them feel important.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Is Jasper Packlemorton of atrocious memory, who courted and married 14 wives and killed them all by tickling their feet when they were sleeping in the consciousness of innocence and virtue. Let this be a warning to all young ladies to be particular in the character of their gentlemen. Observe how the fingers are bent in the very act of tickling.
Or of playing bowls upon the arrival of the Spanish Armada, since this multi-talented gent does duty, when required, as Sir Francis Drake.
When you has these two by rote, we shall proceed to the lady what died dancing at 102, the wild boy of the woods, the infamous pickled walnut poisoner, Mr. Grimaldi, the clown, and many others. Now, don't fret. You get them in a trice.
And here, as a dreadful lesson to all who eat more than their fair share, is Gaston Le Gorge, the famed gourmand of Gascony, who overate to such a degree that one evening, when consuming the final pea of Le Paille et Mâche, this very pea you see dried here upon the plate, ladies and gentlemen, upon lifting it to his lips, the unfortunate man exploded.
capital, my dear. You are a natural at the art.
Do you think so?
Did I not say so? Now, be so good as to hand me that box of spirit gum and whiskers.
One evening, a holiday with them, we see Nell and her grandfather go for a walk. They stroll a great distance and hardly notice the clouds banking up, the wind rustling the trees.
I think we should go back now, Grandfather.
It's getting darker and windier. We must hurry home. Come along now. What were you thinking of? We mustn't be caught out.
They have come further than they realize.
Quick, Grandfather! Under the trees!
No! The lightning might strike you. And what would I do then, Nell? You mustn't leave me.
I won't. But hurry, please. There's an inn along that road. Is that all right? Can we go there?
They hurry as fast as the old man's legs will allow, and presently find themselves in the Valiant Soldier, landlord J. Cruncher, Esquire.
Come in. Come.
May we rest, sir, until the rain stops?
Sit you down, sir. And you, little lady. Jerry Cruncher at your service. I hope it don't disturb if I...
Nell.
Like to keep my hand in of a quiet night. No harm in it, I say. Game of chance.
Ill chance.
Cards, he has cards.
What, you play, sir?
No, he does not.
Sporting man, are you? As for me, well, I'll find a hand or two relaxes after the long day. Not that I'm any kind of expert.
Really, he doesn't play.
I'll tell you what, little missy. I'll nip up to the bar, pull the old gent and me a couple of pints and some elderflower fizz for you, well, then we can talk it over.
Nell, this is heaven sent. While a man is a fool, in an evening I can get it all back. What money have you, eh?
Grandfather, no.
Now, come, my dear, it'll be all right. You know I would never hurt you.
It does hurt me. I'd rather throw it away now in the mud outside than...
Nell, don't you trust me? It's for you. Why, I want nothing for myself. I just want to make it up to you. All the things you've had to do without Nell.
Please, Grandfather.
There you are, little missy. And for you, sir. Well, now, what's it to be?
My granddaughter has some money. I know she will lend it me. For a hand or two.
Yeah, until you win it back. And more. Well, sir, you look lucky to me. Lucky tonight. Maybe I won't play after all.
Too late, sir. You can't back down now. Nellie,